You might be thinking, well, if I take out a mortgage, then 75%, that means 25% of the deposits put down. So in this instance, 100 grand, it's going to be £25,000. Not the case when it comes to bridging, I'm afraid. I'm going to start off with this question actually, because this is a good one, which is, what amount of cash is needed to fund a flip via a bridge? For example, purchase price 100,000, refurb 20, GDV 150. Awesome question, because I think so many people can actually get something from this. So many people ask me really similar questions, so this is a really, really good one. So let me get my thoughts in line so that I can answer this properly. So we're looking to get some kind of bridging loan. For a flip, generally speaking, the refurb is not going to cost you as much and last as long to warrant getting full development finance, basically. Development finance is where you get a bit of money to go towards the purchase, then you've got a facility of cash to go towards the development, basically, the cost of the works. But generally speaking, with a flip, it's very much like a buy, refurbish, refinance, apart from without the refinance bit. We sell it instead of refinancing it. So they're generally like tart and turns, as we like to call them. You're buying a property, it's mainly cosmetic. Sometimes people go back to brick and they do a bit of a rewiring or replastering and stuff like that, but generally it's new kitchen, new bathroom, new flooring, nice bit of painting on the old walls, and we're good to go. And you can add some really nice value to a property that way, just from turning it from something that somebody doesn't want to live in into something that somebody does want to live in, and that's where you add that value. So generally speaking, we're looking at using a bridging loan to purchase this property with, which is a percentage of the purchase price. Realistically, the maximum you can actually get is 85%, because you can get something called a refurbishment bridge. But let's keep things simple. Generally speaking, max out 75% loan to value. Now, you might be thinking, well, if I take out a mortgage, then 75%, that means 25% of the deposits put down. So in this instance, 100 grand, it's going to be £25,000. Not the case when it comes to bridging, I'm afraid. You can service the interest on a bridging loan, very similar to how you would on a mortgage, by actually making a sort of a monthly interest payment. Because you're not going to be renting that property out, the lender will do an affordability assessment on you, not quite as stringently as a residential mortgage lender would, but certainly in a pretty similar way. So for a lot of people that maybe don't have a huge amount of income, or they're professional property investors and they keep their income to a minimum, that's not necessarily the best thing to do. So what we tend to do is something called retained interest, which basically means that the lender will deduct all of the interest to cover all the payments for the entire term. So if it's 12 months and it's 1%, that's £12,000, that will be deducted from the gross loan amount of 75%. So we need to take that into account as well. That will be deducted. The lender will also deduct their fees, 2%. If your broker's charging you a fee, which most decent brokers will, that could be 1% of the loan amount. That will be deducted as well. So then whatever remains is what we call our net loan. The net loan is actually what is sent to your solicitor to help you complete the purchase. So obviously you need to make up that difference in terms of the deposit. So instead of it being a 25% deposit on a 75% loan to value bridge, it's probably more along the lines of maybe 30%, something like that, depending on how cheap the lending is. You've also got to work out what your sort of costs are going to be in terms of additional fees. So solicitor fees, valuation fees, stamp duty, probably going to have to work out stamp duty. You might even have sourcing fees that you need to pay for as well. So all these other things need to be worked into it. So it's not as simple as just going to 75% loan to value, 25% deposit, bish bash bosh. Not as simple as that by any stretch of the imagination. So this is actually a really good reason as to why a flip is quite a good first deal to do. Because if you imagine you're doing all of this with maybe quite a small pot of cash, and you're looking to do a buy, refurbish, refinance, you want to refinance the the property at the end, and then you're using 75% of the uplifted value, which is your mortgage, to pay everything off and hopefully repay yourself, you're probably not going to be able to do that, and not going to be able to see as much profit. So a lot of my clients, when they're first starting out, we do flips because we're trying to build that seed capital for your property business, basically. And that's what it is. It's a property business. Every business needs seed capital. So that's what we do. We arrange we arrange bridges, we get flips done, we build that money in the back pocket, and that's how we start building property portfolios, people. We need a bit of money to get started, and flips are a great way to do it.